X-Pac 12360, featuring weekly news, insider commentary, and interviews with superstars, past and present from the world of pro wrestling.
A new day is dawning for DX.
And now, your host, Shawn X-Pac Waltman.
Welcome to X-Pac 12360, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful week. Anyways, what a wonderful smile you have on your face right now, Denise.
I'm just going to put it away now.
She's looking at me waiting for, what are you going to say next? Well, there's plenty to talk about, and I'm happy to have Joey Janela coming on in a little while to talk to us.
The bad boy.
Yeah, I've known Joey for a while. I actually teamed with him back in Jersey. And I can't remember the actual promotion. I think it might have been Game Changer Wrestling or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Or it might have been actually before they were Game Changer. They were Jersey Championship Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not Jersey All Pro, though.
No, different. Yeah. JCW, not to be confused with JCW.
Not Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
So, anyways, looking forward to talking to Joey because Joey's made a hell of a name for himself in an unconventional way in the industry. He's making his own way.
And he can give us an update on what's going on with his knee. He's on the mend. It's going to be a long road, but hopefully it'll be as quickly as possible. For him.
I watched the clip that he tweeted out when it happened, and man, that was brutal looking.
Yeah.
And so when he came, and he's going to talk about it, the prognosis and all that when he comes on. So we'll leave that for then. But there's plenty of other stuff to talk about. But hey, first, I got something I want to share with everyone. Mm-hmm. Guys, looking to last longer and go a few extra rounds?
I am.
Get to BlueChew.com. BlueChew.com has the first ever chewable that brings your performance in the bedroom to another level. Check this out. They've got the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so they work. Since they're chewable, they'll work faster than a pill. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And this stuff is cheaper than those other two. So this is a no-brainer, folks. And I just have to, full disclosure, a cup it's been about a month now since I started getting my Blue Chews. And right on time, because I just re-entered after 2 years the dating scene.
Yes.
Yeah. Woo! And real quick, so the first time, the magic was supposed to happen, it didn't. Once I got down to, I got stage fright. I'm not gonna lie, and it was kind of embarrassing. And so
happens to lots of guys, right?
Well, I mean, it apparently it does. So I had to tell her, I swear to God, this never happened to me before. I was like, and I bet you've never heard that one before. Anyways, but people just don't like talking about it. Guys have a problem talking about this shit, and I don't. And this stuff works really good. I took a couple, I chewed them up real quick, and on short notice. But anyways, nothing short about this. Anyway, wow.
I could also say I used Blue Chew for the first time, and it's fantastic.
Did you have his? And they don't taste bad, right?
No, it tastes great. Yeah. And I had I just wanted to try it out. I had a lady friend that was flying into town for the weekend, and I said, you know what? Why not? I had a Blue Chew, and it was fantastic. Couldn't say enough about it.
Yeah, and neither can I. So just take one every day, even just in case. And if it's Cialis actually, I'm prescribed that because I'm an old man now, and it helps me with my prostate. So if you get the Cialis version of this, it'll actually help older guys with their prostate too.
That's important.
That's my own. That wasn't part of the Blue Chew ad here. Mm-hmm. So anyways, where was I? Let me pick back up. Plus, you don't need to go to the doctor's office or spend time waiting in the pharmacy line because Blue Chew ships straight to your door in discreet packaging. And it doesn't. It gets there quick, too.
There you go.
Here's a great deal for you guys. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use promo code X-Pac. Just pay $5 in shipping, which honestly, like for, can you put a price tag on a night of pleasure?
You sure can't. Well, technically you can, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, you can, right? Depending on who you're having it with.
Yes.
But so $5 is a small price to pay.
And for any guys who are reluctant, I had never used anything like that before either.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? It's not anything weird at all.
Yeah.
It's
So
great.
even if you like, well, I don't need that. Even if you don't, why wouldn't you want to do that for your lady?
There you go.
Seriously, you'll get some extra length, some extra thickness, and I'm pretty sure your lady will appreciate that. You don't even have to tell her.
I didn't.
And if it's any ladies
I
out
sure
there,
didn't say anything.
any ladies out there listening to this, encourage your man to go out there and order some Blue Chew, even if he swears to God that he doesn't need it, because it'll really help you in the bedroom. It'll help your experience. And again, that's BlueChew.com, and use the promo code XPAC, XPAC. And we love Blue Chew, and they've been great sponsors for a lot of stuff in our industry lately. And so thank you, Blue Chew.
Absolutely.
And thank you for helping me out in the bedroom.
And while we're all amped up, let's get in to some UFC 229, Denise.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned amped up, because I don't know anybody that was watching UFC 229 this weekend and not yelling at their TV screen after what they saw. Obviously, we saw Khabib take on Conor McGregor, which was from the start, the way that this was built up was, this couldn't be written. This was so good. It got so personal that it just kind of, I guess you can say, imploded in the end.
It became pro wrestling.
Exactly, but I guess, okay, so let's break it down. So here's what happened. So obviously they went 5 rounds.
Yeah, no, they went 4.
Sorry, excuse me, 4. Khabib made Conor tap, all right?
Yes.
Now, that's something that people should be talking about, but they're not, because of the aftermath of what happened. Now I will tell you. So within a few hours of this happening, I went on Twitter, and already there was 1.82 million tweets about UFC 229 because Khabib jumped the cage and attacked Dylan Danis. And then pretty much what happened after that was a brawl where before, people just thought that 2 guys from Khabib's team then jumped Conor. But after that, there were some videos that came out where, in fact, Conor did get some punches in, wasn't as innocent as people thought.
Yeah.
So the point is, there was this big giant brawl that broke out. Both guys' purses were held for a while, but now Conor is the only one that I believe that has been given his purse. But there's just so much drama that's unfolded. People were outraged, and some other people thought that Khabib was justified in his actions. So I don't know. What did you guys think about this?
I would never say that they were justified, but I will, like, from their point of view, and I'm trying to look at the situation from everyone's point of view, right? Like, not just, who your favorite is. And not justified, but I gotta be honest, from like understandable, actually. No way, shape, or form justified. But when you keep poking the bear and you talk shit about, and I've seen people's like, well, you can say anything you want about Christianity, but but how come you can't say it about well, they take it a little bit more seriously than we do, okay? And understand that. And if you start talking about someone's a Muslim rat or something from the out, you're going to and just got finished 4 rounds of fighting another guy that's at your level,
right?
Regardless of if he competed at that level that night, Conor McGregor's right there with anyone, So like you are worked up, like and when you're in a fight, I don't know if you've ever been in a fight.
Not like that.
But even just to fight on the street, like, how you feel, right?
And Conor's the biggest star in the sport, so of course Khabib's going to be amped up.
And just all the stuff like that led up to this, all the antics and all that. And yeah, you can say like, oh, but this was this and that was that. But I'm just saying, I understand how all this happened. And Brendan Schaub called it.
He did.
Brendan Schaub called this. Like, I'm not going anywhere near that fight. I don't want to be anywhere near it because shit's going to go down.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
now, do you think that maybe UFC and Dana White have some partial to blame, considering that they used the incident with the dolly with Conor, which, you know, obviously did hurt some fighters?
Yeah.
They used all of this, as terms of a promotion, how they promoted the
Absolutely.
fight. But Khabib, like this was said, Khabib is a serious guy. To him, this wasn't a fight promotion. This was
Nice.
serious. So now
Yeah.
these are two guys that went into a fight, both with different mentalities. So, you know, whereas Conor may have seen this as business, Khabib saw and took this as a personal situation.
Yes.
So now, do you think that the way that Dana White handled this and UFC handled this, do you think that there's some sort of to blame for the fact that this...
They fostered this atmosphere. Sorry, like, and yes, and for money, and like, yes, it drew a lot of money, obviously.
And I think you've mentioned this before. They're desperate for stars right now. So they did all the promotion they could, regardless of whether or not Khabib was going to do that.
So, yeah. Anyways, I hear people going, oh, this is a work, and, you know, like, oh, it's just pro wrestling. No, it's different. It's different. No, none of this shit's planned. Like, they take advantage of situations after they happen, and they exploit them. But it's way different than wrestling in that regard. No one's writing this shit.
You mentioned money. They did make $17 million at the gate, but Dana White has said that they did make over 2 million pay-per-view buys, which is incredibly insane. Like people that weren't even MMA fans, like everybody was talking about what happened that night. So now a lot of the other topics that people are bringing up is, do you think that Conor McGregor deserves a rematch against Khabib?
Yes.
Really, even though he tapped?
So what? Yeah.
It's a
You
game.
tap when you're in a submission hold. Save from...
From breaking your
Yeah.
jaw. He would have smashed his jaw
Yeah.
so bad.
Or, I mean, some people are going, oh, it wasn't even a submission hold, so maybe he just... what was done being, you know, he was over
Well, some
it.
people are saying that he pretty much gave up.
Well, I mean, that's what a tap is giving up. But like from, and you know, like I've read things from analysts saying, oh, there wasn't even a hold. Let me put you in that. All right.
Yeah. It's
You know?
basically a headlock, but instead of being
Yes.
wrapped around his neck to choke him out, he's on his jaw. So it's like, I'm going to break your jaw
Yes.
unless you give up, basically.
Yeah,
And
so-
I think Conor made the right decision.
And will that fight draw a huge gate? It will. So therefore, yes.
The funniest thing I've seen is all these, like, the next fight has to be in a cage, right? And they keep posting,
Oh,
like,
Shayna
Hell in a
Baszler.
Cell, like, over
Shayna
it.
Baszler,
yeah.
like Baszler.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to have fun with it, and then she's like, you know, look at all these you know,
MMA people getting upset at her
Yes.
about it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, you know,
Come on, man.
yeah. Well, all right. So next,
All right, well, we are moving on. So we finally have our main event for Wrestle Kingdom 13, and I honestly could not be more excited about it. It's going to be Kenny Omega defending his title against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, we have had Kenny Omega on our show, and he has talked about the sort of rivalry, the real rivalry that exists between both of them, between Hiroshi. I think he said, what did he call it? A personal sort of career jealousy.
Sure.
I believe
Yeah.
that's the words that Kenny Omega used on the show. So now I am super hyped for this. And one of the things that we want to show you guys here today is that at the Fighting Spirit Unleashed press conference, I did ask Kenny Omega, who do you want to face at Wrestle Kingdom, Jay White or Hiroshi Tanahashi? As we know, he has this feud, this ongoing feud sort of with Hiroshi Tanahashi, but Jay White right now is sort of being pushed to the moon by New Japan.
Yeah.
So who were the two guys? And I guess we'll go ahead and play that clip.
yeah, let's see it.
Kenny, who would you rather face at Wrestle Kingdom, Jay White or Hiroshi Tanahashi?
You see, Jay White has beaten me, fair and square. He tricked me. He's a very talented and a very clever young man. But he hasn't reached his full potential. And until he has, that's when I would have to rematch. And right now, I really have no beef with Jay. I respect what he's doing. He's trying to find himself. It took me 10 years in Japan to finally find myself. Well, maybe 8. But Tanahashi, oh boy, that egomaniac. He thinks he understands wrestling. He thinks he is wrestling. He has all the answers.
Yeah.
He loves to take upon this holier-than-thou attitude. Tell everyone how it should be, how it is, and that he's the ace of the universe. Yes, you have an idea of what professional wrestling is, but that doesn't necessarily make you right. Winning that pushover of an A-block doesn't make you right, Tanahashi. Picking apart the bones of an injured Ibushi of my injured Busan, that doesn't make you right. And that doesn't make you the best. In fact, that doesn't even give you the right to face the champion of the Tokyo Dome. You've got 3 months. But I really hope that you do defend that briefcase. Because the Tokyo Dome, in front of 45,000 people, possibly more, and hundreds of thousands watching worldwide, it will be the greatest expose in New Japan professional wrestling history. I will show you just how much I have it up here, and athletically, more than you. I respect what you did 15 years ago, Tanahashi. But that's 15 years ago. No more living in the past. It's time to take a back seat. You're no longer the ace. You're no longer the best. You no longer even deserve to be in the main event. You can be one of those dark match guys.
Whoa.
You can be in the Jobber Battle Royal. You can be a part of this team. We respect tradition. We respect history. But Tanahashi, you are definitely not at the Kenny Omega level, and you never will be. So defend that briefcase. Show me your professional wrestling ideologies at its finest. And I'm going to hit the fast forward button. And I'm going to take it up to 2019, January 4th, and show just how much the world has changed and how much I will change the world from here on in.
So yeah, that was definitely an incredible promo.
What a promo for just like in a press conference, you don't know what you're going to be asked, and he just
let me
cuts
just pull this out of my ass real
promo.
quick. Yeah.
Like people have written promos that are that good.
And Tanahashi has openly criticized Omega's style as well, so that's kind of going.
It's interesting. It's interesting to listen to, or to not listen, but read the translation of like the things he say about Kenny's wrestling, and comparing it to like like a Japanese movie, or I forget how he was comparing it, but it was an interesting comparison, and like just so I kind of figured that they were heading in this direction with all the little jabs they're taking. I like that way of doing things now.
Yeah.
I like it when we're not real sure if they're just professional, jealousy and going at each other, like, or is this setting an angle up, or like, I like that in wrestling these days. What were we talking about earlier?
The Austin Aries thing.
The Austin Aries thing? Like somebody was saying how like...
Oh, the internet flipped out about his tweet, yeah.
Yeah, and like, and people aren't, I don't know, people didn't know...
Yeah,
that it was like they're forwarding an angle.
Right, that's what it was.
Yeah,
and
it's just a really good job of it, and some people are caught up and okay, it's a real life like thing. Like, I mean, they're not talking about stupid like fictitious storyline. They're trying to make it a real, like real shit.
They
Problem
want
is-
you invested.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aries put a couple of trigger words in there, but people just looked at the trigger words and flipped out as opposed to the point he was making.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. So
Well, going back to Hiroshi and Kenny, the last time that they did wrestle each other was back in 2016, and Kenny wasn't a star at this point yet. So now the question asked: do you think that this match is probably going to that this match will be better than what he had with Okada, considering that Hiroshi Tanahashi is such a smart worker? And I know that they were also trying to make this this match happen back at Dominion. This was supposed to be a ladder match, but then Hiroshi had a shoulder injury, and then that didn't happen.
Right.
So now it's kind of like, oh, it's the thing that's finally going to happen.
So is it going to be a ladder match at Wrestle Kingdom?
No.
I don't like
this was
that.
supposed
I don't
to
like
be
the
it.
sound of a ladder match in the main event at the Tokyo Dome
With you on
for
that.
New Japan. I don't like.
It doesn't need it.
It's even weird. Like, and I'm not saying like I don't want to see different things in New Japan, but like it was just weird even seeing a ladder in a ring in a New Japan ring. But I'm definitely for them trying new things, and so like I'm just saying it was weird, not wrong, not like that. It was a little strange for me. So I can imagine, back in the day, like in 2002, it was more than strange for some people to see China in the New Japan ring.
Right.
Maybe that's way more strange, actually, considering the culture there. But I don't know why I went off on that. But I'm just saying.
Well, you talk about trying new things and being open to it. And
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of trying new things, I mean, Mac Weldon.
Oh, yeah, Mac Weldon.
They have incredible clothing that I know you wear all the time.
Yes, I'm wearing a pair of their underwear now.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't have their socks on right now, though.
Okay.
So I need to get some new socks.
So,
but
yeah.
Mack Weldon believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. Oh, it says talk about your shopping experience.
You love your Mack Weldon.
Yes. All right. So, anyways, I went on their website and I ordered the stuff and so I got some underwear, I got some socks, I got this really cool backpack for your laptop, and it's got a charger built into it and everything, and yeah, it's just real high-end stuff, and it gets there it wasn't there overnight, but it was there the next day after that, and I mean I just really like the product.
And you mentioned most comfy sweatpants you ever owned, right?
Yeah, I wore those to bed last night.
Boom.
But and I almost wore them here too. 'Cause I was just gonna get out of bed and just come right here in them. But yeah, Mack Weldon will be the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants, and more that you will ever wear. Mm-hmm. They have a line of silver underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial.
That's it. Very important to have.
That means that, bacteria can't build up in them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what that means, right?
Absolutely. Wear them often.
Anyways, yeah. Okay. It actually even says it right there. It says, which means they eliminate odor.
There you go.
They want you to be comfortable. So if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it and they will still refund you. No questions asked. Not only does Mack Weldon's underwear, socks, and shirts look good, they perform well too. It's good for working out, going to work, going out on dates, just everyday life. Mack Weldon has a special offer for all of our listeners and viewers. For 20% off your first order, visit MackWeldon.com and enter the promo code X-Pac. X-P-A-C. That's MackWeldon.com and enter the promo code X-Pac at checkout. Once again, that's MackWeldon.com. Enter promo code X-Pac at checkout for 20% off your first order of the most comfortable clothing you'll wear. Mack Weldon has reached their definition of perfect, so go to MackWeldon.com and enter the promo code XPAC at the checkout to get 20% off your first order. Thanks again to Mack Weldon.
Thank you, Mack Weldon, for being super. And there was also a super showdown this past weekend. Denise,
yes, there
from
was.
Australia.
There was. So WWE had their first live event in Australia, WWE Super Showdown. For us, it was late, so most of us probably watched it afterwards.
Yes.
But there was it was a very good, solid show, a lot of good highlights that happened. One of them, which was Buddy Murphy winning against Cedric Alexander in his hometown of Australia, which I don't know about you guys, but I feel that in these few minutes that he was on, Buddy Murphy essentially became a star here tonight. And I don't know, what were you guys' thoughts on this?
And good for him. First Australian to win a singles title in WWE as well. And, he's had to change a lot about himself for coming from the tag team. I assume he had to drop weight to get it under 205. So good for him for putting all the work in, and what a match.
Hey, so is that 205 thing a shoot?
He weighed in at 203, they said.
Okay. Right.
And I'll have to say, Buddy Murphy has been working his butt off both in 205 and NXT. They call him the best kept secret, for a reason. And this match helped show on a bigger stage. But he's been killing it on 205 as of late, ever since he changed the style to fit. They call him he's like a bruiser, one of the few powerhouses, but he still takes to the air like we're seeing right now.
Oh, his athleticism is insane.
Almost.
Oh, here you
unmatched.
go. Case in
Almost
point.
unmatched.
Watch this, Sean.
Oh my goodness.
Look out.
And just right over.
Oh
his
wow,
his
yeah.
damn head.
I mean,
yeah, no, that was he had some air.
Sure did.
And no, but I like that. I've seen a bit of Buddy stuff, and I like that there can be a powerhouse in the cruiserweight division. And I like the story of, hey, it's really hard to keep 205 and under. Mm-hmm. And
he actually was supposed to have an opportunity for the championship a couple of months ago, but he he went over 205 pounds, and he had to wait until he made
Yeah.
weight in order to compete again.
Yeah, and I like that.
That's cool.
And I like that they're doing things with, the storylines and that, like that. Because those things are real things that we can feel, like we can see and go, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah. And so I had no idea that he was from Australia.
I'm pretty sure he won a tryout, and that's why he's in He paid the $1,000 to do the tryout,
Yeah.
and just knocked it out of the park. Had a great promo, and they decided to hire him, and he's just killed it since then.
He's got this name and actually the look to go along with it that makes me go, oh, he must be from the South.
Okay.
Yeah.
The red hair, maybe?
I don't know, just Buddy Murphy.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true.
Why don't you add a Lee in the middle of it? And that will really be.
You're absolutely right, Buddy Lee.
Yeah.
Well, one of the cool things about this is that after this match, this was one of the most talked about matches on this card. And I feel that because of this match, I feel that they should no longer just be like, oh, the cruiserweight guys, let's just always throw them in the pre-show. No, they earned like main card status, I think, after this match.
Sure.
And it makes it that much more important. Therefore, it'll make people care more.
Well, you care about this guy, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, we care about this guy. And when you care about the people in the cruiserweight division, then you care about the cruiserweight division. And it takes more than flippity-flop,
Character.
Yeah, it takes more than the moves. I mean, because here's the thing about it is there's a million guys that can do all that shit now. All of it. I mean, some obviously do it way better than others. Like there's Ospreys and guys like that no one can touch. But like then there's that next level down where just everyone's doing amazing shit. And so you have to have all the in-between shit and the character and all that for people to care. It takes more, like, man, these days, like, it just takes a lot to impress people out there. Like the bar is raised so high. You have to be good at that other stuff. You have to be good at the character, the mic skills, the in between the move stuff that I talk about. Like,
sure,
that's all the most important stuff.
And the main event had all of that, which I know all the fans want to hear you talk about. Triple H, obviously, and Undertaker, and then everything that happened afterwards. But this match, it was long, but they told a story, and it was I loved it. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
It was nice. Yeah, it was nicely done, and it was long.
They went 20 minutes.
and they 27.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I know because there was an article about how it was one of the longer matches of 2018, as far as guys putting in time out there.
Definitely.
And you know what? Paul always loves to put in time, because even if he hasn't trained in a year, he can still go an hour out there.
Sure can.
That's how he is. He wasn't even a cardio guy. You know that? Like, he never did cardio. His cardio came from how he trained, like, with the weights.
Okay.
Because when you don't rest in between sets, that's cardio in and of itself. So, anyways, I don't know why I got to go off onto the Triple H training regiment.
Hey, it works. I mean, look at it.
So, yeah, no, there was some nice stuff in the match. It was pretty kind of, formula. But, formula is when formula is done well, it is really well. Or really good. Really well. Really good. I will say this, and this doesn't just go for that match, it goes for the whole card. I did notice, like, sometimes on a few things, guys were just a step slow, or like their reaction was a little slow, or they seemed tired out there. And that might have something to do with flying 28 hours and then doing the show.
It's an exhausting
right away.
trip.
Yeah. So whenever I've been to Japan and had to wrestle the first day, it was the worst. I mean, it's everything feels heavy, like your feet feel heavy, like when you're trying to. It's a real struggle, like to get off an airplane and go out there and try to perform at that level. So, like, if anyone had noticed any little things out there, like, try to cut some slack, because that's some serious jet lag. Like when I get back from there, I'm done for like a week.
Wow.
Yeah, I could get out of bed.
Meanwhile, they had Raw.
Yeah, they had to fly back
later.
to Chicago for that. So, yeah, but we can talk more. But the match ended, and it was kind of that typical thing that you've seen Taker and Hunter do and Shawn before at WrestleMania. What was the WrestleMania? Was it Miami? They had the Taker Triple H.
Yeah, 25 or 26.
Yeah, and then and Shawn was the special referee in the Hell in a Cell, and at the end they all were at the end they were all celebrating together, and so then you see that again, and it's a feel good moment, and everyone in the venue is like giving the applause for the for the respect, and everyone taking their bow at the end, and then boom, they drop the hammer on him. Yeah, beat the shit out of him.
And then on Raw,
Yeah.
D-Generation X is back.
Yeah, are you ready?
Have you booked your ticket to Saudi Arabia, Shawn? The fans want to know.
No.
Okay.
I just want to talk about the Raw. I didn't see all of Raw last night, but I saw key parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that in-ring they did announcing,
It's official.
yeah. So they're doing the DX, and they're going to go do it in Saudi Arabia and make a lot of money.
Well, how do you feel about Shawn Michaels' in-ring return?
I think that, he was sticking to his guns on this whole retirement thing, and that was all on him. Like I would have liked to have seen him do it sooner.
In the same situation, return to face Undertaker and Kane with Triple H, or just return and put over a younger talent?
Just give the people what they want. They wanted him to come back for a long time, and the only thing, and I respect the hell out of his reasons for not doing it, and I respect the hell out of his reasons for doing it now.
I love what he said.
Making money.
Yeah, I love what he said in the ring though. It's been 8.5 years, but this is the time I have to come back. I mean, it was just the whole thing is fun, man. It's really fun.
Yeah. And they're gonna make money.
Do you think this will be the last time? This will be the one and only time Shawn comes out of retirement?
Nope.
All right.
No. Well, actually, it depends on how their tag match goes. We'll see.
Do you think he'll get bitten by that bug again and be like, okay, well maybe one more, and
Yeah.
then one more?
Yeah. No. Okay. See, this is my thoughts on it. Things go well in the tag match, and then the wheels start spinning in people's heads, and maybe even a surprise Royal Rumble entrance, and even in WrestleMania
35.
match. Yes.
WrestleMania 35.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
And this is me speculating. I haven't talked to anyone. I haven't talked to Paul. I haven't talked to Shawn. So like when I say these things, like if I had talked to him, I wouldn't be talking to you about this shit.
Right, exactly.
Right. So, yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
So with your speculation, who do you think you would face at WrestleMania?
Oh, it could be so many people. Come on, man.
I think AJ.
It would be like a dream match sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's one, but see, it wouldn't.
Shawn still looks incredible.
Yeah. He looks like he just got off a horse, though.
Well, what did you think of the new DX shirt? A lot of fans
It's nice.
seem to like this.
Yeah, it's
DX
fine.
Shirt.
I mean, I'm fond of the old, the nostalgic one. But, it's fine. You got to make new stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Fun stuff.
I see Shawn has decided to keep on going with the hair situation. Because I mean he went from the long the ponytail and then okay. He got it cut that time, right? Remember, like it was tweeted out, the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Like that person
Went viral.
did it. Yeah, but that person did that without Shawn's permission.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure Shawn's not even going to that hairstylist anymore over that.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and so now I think he's figuring, I'm not fooling anyone with this.
Low maintenance.
Yeah. And the truth is this, like, I need to be getting on board with that too. Like, I'm still holding on to this shit and pulling it back in a ponytail. And I actually even had hair transplants a few years back, and they just didn't work for some unknown reason. Well, I have a good idea as to why they didn't work, but so yeah. Shawn never went the hair transplant route. He just was like, yeah, I got it, and okay, now I know. Let me get rid of it. So I'm with him. Like, he's got a nice looking head, and it looks good bald. Mm-hmm. So it's just weird seeing.
Takes a bit to get used to.
Yeah, I can imagine how I'm gonna look when I shave mine.
Oh man, hold on to it as long as you can.
All right. All right. So, what else do we have here?
Oh, we got to talk about Slam Crate.
Yes, that's right.
We love Slam Crate. Fans love Slam Crate.
We do love Slam Crate.
Yeah.
Before we continue, I wanted to take a minute to thank our friends over at WWE Slam Crate. WWE Slam Crate is a bi-monthly subscription box delivered direct to your door with exclusive WWE collectibles, apparel, and gear only available here. The theme for October's crate is legendary and features WWE legends including Ric Flair, The Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Razor Ramon. All crates include an exclusive high-quality t-shirt and a brand new Slam Stars figure. Subscribe now by going to lootcrate.com/X-Pac and entering the code X-Pac to save 25% off your first subscription. Well, not off your first subscription, off your subscription. The WWE Slam Crate is curated. The WWE Slam Crate is a curated collection of one-of-a-kind WWE items at a $60 value for less than $35 a month. You can't lose.
Nope.
Have you seen any of this stuff?
Yeah, I have the Slam Crate figures that come, and you usually get 4 figures that then together build a ring and make a little display. I have the Seth Rollins and the Finn Balor.
Sweet.
Yeah.
This crate will sell out, so make sure you go to lootcrate.com/X-Pac and enter the code X-Pac at lootcrate.com/X-Pac.
Boom.
To save 25% off your subscription and guarantee your spot by the end of this week. Hey, also, I'm not finished with this. Get the best surprises each month from the leader. Celebrate your love of WWE with WWE Slam Crate powered by Loot Crate, which offers 16 other awesome crates from gaming to anime to pop culture. Subscribe now by going to lootcrate.com/X-Pac and entering the code X-Pac to save 25% off your subscription. Thanks again to our friends over at WWE Slam Crate. Make sure you sign up for yours today. And I just wanted to say, in regards to this WWE Slam Crate, to Mac Weldon, and also to Blue Chew, any of you folks out there, and I really I can't tell you how much it helps the show when you support our sponsors, and I'm so grateful when you do that. That when you do, send us your proof of purchase for any of these 3 sponsors, and I'll send you an autographed picture.
There you go.
For free, and I'm happy to do it. I'm grateful to do it. So yeah,
It's a win-win in any situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You get something from our great sponsors, whether it's clothing,
Yeah, because
Blue
honestly,
Chew,
the
wrestling
average cut, signed 8x10 at Comic-Con's like $30-$40 of mine, and if you order a freaking Blue Chew, you get that. I'm sending you that for $5.
Can't beat it.
Yeah, so go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Should we take a break and come back with Mr. Janela?
let's do it.
All right.
Welcome back to X-Pac 12360, everyone. Joining us right now over the phone is a guy that has blazed his own trail in the wrestling industry and is, to me, when I think of indie wrestling right now and the indie wrestling boom, I feel like this is one of the guys that's kind of, at the forefront of that and has never been associated with WWE or any, thing like that. And it's Bad Boy Joey Janela, everyone.
Yeah.
And Joey, like as I was just saying before I announced it was you, not that they didn't know you were already going to be on the show, but I'm really impressed, man. Because I'll tell everyone, you and I had a tag match a few years back. It's probably been about 5 years ago now, huh?
Yeah, it's probably been about 5 years. I think we did like 3 tag matches together.
Okay. Well, the thing is at the time I wasn't in as good. I mean, I wasn't in the worst place, but I still was climbing up out of the hole, So I wasn't necessarily as into anything as I probably should have been at the time, and I apologize for that. Yeah, no, man. I'm just like between then and now, man. It's incredible to watch to see the journey you've made. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, Shawn. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just back then I was kind of just like a local guy. Had a lot of buzz in the area.
Yeah.
And I guess I kind of found ways to get myself buzzing, and social media, Twitter, a huge part of that. As soon as I got the hang of Twitter, everything started to come together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the matches the matches we were in were just regular, like conventional tag matches, and then I see, I don't know how long ago that was, but all of a sudden I see you getting like power bombed off this by Zandig.
Yeah.
Is that what? Yeah, like that was the first thing I seen. Like, okay, crazy shit from Joey Janela. Would you say that's accurate? That was like the first thing. Big.
Yeah, I always dabble a little bit of the craziness. But
yeah.
Nothing. That's the craziest. That's the craziest you can go. You can't get much crazier than that.
Well, I mean, when I initially saw it, Joey, like I questioned what the hell was wrong with you. I'm not gonna lie, but looking back, I understand why you did these things. Like first of all, there's a lot of people that still want to see that kind of shit, and number two, like you were saying, to go out there and to create a buzz about yourself in this day and age is really hard with everything going on out there. You're not going to be the best high flyer. You're not going to have the best body. You're not going to, necessarily be the best talker. So, man, it's a bitch to go out there and do that, man. And you've done an amazing job at it, Joey.
Yeah, it's just this day and age, like, the athletes in professional wrestling, even on the indies.
Yeah.
But when you get to NXT, it's a different level of athlete now.
Yeah. It's
just very hard. I'm not the most athletic guy. I didn't really play scholastic sports at all.
Yeah.
I kind of just was a kid who backyard wrestled on a trampoline, and hoped one day I would get an opportunity to wrestle in a ring.
Yeah.
But it's just it's a whole different ball game, and that the bump off the roof, that definitely elevated, because as soon as I came back from that injury, the thumb injury I suffered from that.
You injured your thumb on that?
Yeah,
your thumb?
The barbed wire at the bottom of the truck had barbed wire and sliced open my ligaments and tendons in my thumb. They had to reattach my thumb, basically. So. Oh
shit. Okay. Yeah. No. I do remember reading that part, but like initially when you say, "Yeah, I hurt my thumb on this big 3-story fall off of this thing," and like it's like, man, could have been worse.
Yeah. Through light tubes and into the back of a truck filled with barbed wire.
So, but Joey, do you think
I didn't want to do it, but whatever.
That wasn't your idea?
No, I kept on the guy Zandig. He's kind of like a urban legend amongst independents, even more than New Jersey and Philadelphia area now.
Yeah.
Because the internet and YouTube and stuff. And we found him on Facebook, but no one believed it was him.
Yeah.
So I just started calling him out on Facebook and said, "You're not going to throw me off a building." And he decided to come out of retirement to throw me off a building. So.
So that's how you talked him into it. All right.
Yep. That was it.
Well, Joey, one of the things that I wanted to ask you about, you were talking about the buzz as you as a performer, but one of the things I want to talk about is the buzz of your spring break shows.
Yeah.
During WrestleMania last year, everybody just kept talking about your show. Are you going to go to the show? Are you going to go to the show? That was the number one thing people were talking about. So what I want to ask you is, did you ever think that your show would be so popular, considering that it's going up against so many other shows during WrestleMania weekend?
Yeah, it's just the way we were just right place, right time. The first one, we just basically we had a slot offered to us at the WWN, like their little
The Sugar
festival
Mill?
shows. Yeah, no, 2 years ago in Orlando, whatever it was. But yeah, it's just we got a slot, and then I was just riding a wave at that time, and that just made the wave that much bigger. And yeah, just with the videos and the ideas we came up with for the show, I think it worked because it was completely different from everything else.
For sure.
That was going on that weekend.
Man, and I saw, just going back to Orlando, because Ron Funches came to WrestleMania with me that year. And I just remember him going, well, I'm going to go to Joey Janela spring break tonight. And it was like 30 minutes away from the hotel. And, it was like really late at night. But it was the thing to do, and I wasn't up to speed on any of it yet. And then, and you're right, Joey, like with everything going on WrestleMania week, like, okay, yours is so much different. Like so much of the other stuff just kind of blends together because, the matches are the same style and, and you have these concepts in your brain that,
it's like a mix of nostalgia, but with modern taste to it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like, I looked at some of your ideas on paper, Joey, and I'm like, how in the hell is this not gonna suck? Like, for instance, I told Matt Riddle, I said, I don't care how good you are, you're not good enough to fucking carry Dan Severn to a good match. And sure enough, you guys, they had a hell of a match, right?
Yeah, it was probably one of the best Dan Severn matches ever. To be honest.
I guarantee you. If it was any good, it was the best match. And Dan's such a nice guy, but like he was a better fighter than he was a pro wrestler.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah. And that was the great thing about Dan is he brought the credibility with it. But anyways, that's what I'm getting at. And then I saw, I don't know if it was the next year after that, you versus Marty.
That was the first year. That was the same show as Riddle and Severn.
Marty, and I'm talking about Marty Jannetty. And Marty's got some, issues with his ankle and things like that. And I was trying to picture in my mind how that was going to work. And when Ron got back to the hotel that night, he said it was great.
Yeah, I kind of had to have Marty on a leash that whole weekend. I kind of set him up with a little seminar beforehand and to make sure he didn't go out and have a day on the town.
Yeah.
And he was good. He was great that show. And I somehow in some way my brain works that I'm very good at planning these matches to hide anything that's wrong with Marty. Or Marty looked great in that match.
Sure.
And people were saying it was one of the best matches of the whole weekend. So, that's something crazy.
So what do you think it is about your brain that comes up with this shit? Like, and just, it's so, like, I would never even think of some of this stuff. Like
James Ellsworth versus Matt Riddle or PCO versus Walter.
Yeah. And it's all just like this, it's just like kind of off the wall, like, outside the box stuff. Like, and like all the other indies have the same flavor these days, and yours doesn't.
Yeah, it was I kind of grew up in New Jersey. NWA Jersey was a big thing. Dennis Coralluzzo.
Yeah.
And his shows were kind of a smorgasbord of different styles at that time. You had Reckless Youth. You had Devin Storm. You had Ace. Simon Diamond, whatever his name was. I think it was Ace Diamond. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ace Darling also. All those guys, they were coming up as the top independent names. Plus you had the guys that Vince was giving them from WWF, they had like the names, the Drawses and the Headbangers and the, it was just a bunch of, it was a smorgasbord of a buffet, an all-you-can-eat buffet of professional wrestling, I felt like.
Yeah.
And, that's what I kind of grew up on. And also I use, I was a huge indie fan, so I had Jersey All Pro, I had Combat Zone, so all that stuff is kind of just all blends in. And that's what my shows are. It's just if I was a teenager and I had a bunch of money and I was able to book a show, that's what I would book.
Well, and you've done really well with getting people like a resurgence in their career with PCO and then discovering someone like Marco Stunt. How does that stuff come about?
PCO he did a show with me in Chicago, and I just so happened I went outside, had a smoke, like I usually do, and I walked back in the door by the curtain, and I peeked out to see what was going on, and as I was peeking out, PCO was doing a tope suicide dive to the outside. I said, what is going on here? Then he did a Frankensteiner, then he did a moonsault, and then I was like, wow, this is pretty surreal. So that night, as soon as he walked back to the locker room, I booked him for Spring Break 2 on the spot. He was the first one, next to Walter.
Oh, yeah.
So that just all the pieces of the puzzle fell into place there, and I knew what was going to happen at Spring Break with him and Walter, and it actually exceeded everyone's expectations.
So who are some of the legends that you've worked with that you would have considered your favorite?
I like Marty. Marty's cool as much as, his personal demons gets in the way of his whole career, actually, in fact. I like Marty. He's a good guy. I liked working with him. I worked with him twice. And I've worked with Scott Norton a few times. He was great. People said it would be hard to get a good match out of him. I got a few good matches out of him, which is pretty wild. I've worked with Sasuke was great. I've worked with Jinsei Sasaki was great. Ultimo Dragon was great. I've got to work with all those guys this year. The last couple of years I've worked with some strange list of names. So. And
you've also I think it might have been when I saw you at PWG. I think that was your debut there, wasn't it?
Yeah,
man.
Last year.
Yeah, and you went out there in a totally different.
Sammy Guevara, right?
Yeah, in a different environment and crushed it, and the people fell in love with you. So it's like you can go and you could do that particular, crazy stuff with these guys, and then you can, you can come to PWG and go out there and crush it in that environment, man. I'm like, seriously, I'm not just saying this because you take the time to be on the show, Joey. I'm really impressed with what you've been doing, man. Really big time.
I think it's just mainly connection with the fans and not being a prick. A lot of the indie guys, I don't know, they get to a certain point. It's not as bad as it used to be, but I just have a certain connection with them, and I'm friendly with them, and if they message me online, I will talk to them. And Matt Riddle's the same way.
Yep.
Matt Riddle's the same exact way. He hangs out with the fans. I think he'd much rather hang out with the fans than hang out with the boys. And some people are like that. I know when you were in WWE, and there was guys like that.
Sure.
I heard Owen Hart. He liked to. He was always hanging out with the fans.
That was to save money, Joey. That was because Owen was a cheapskate. And, well, not a cheapskate, but, I'm just because we used to give him shit about it. But, he wanted to bring his money home and put it in the bank. And so he wasn't afraid to sacrifice on the road and go, travel with the fans. And I did it a few times with him, too. And he would amuse himself, Joey, not to go off on a side street here talking about Owen, but he would amuse himself by ribbing these guys when they would drive us around. I have some great stories about that. But yeah, it is nice when you have that connection with the people because they know when it's real and when it's fake, and obviously it's real in your case. And also, like, I think part of it is in PWG, you went out there and you left it all in the ring, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. And just, you went above and beyond and in a place where everyone does. And it stood out even there.
I think, now that, like, in the last year, there was a lot of, like, fans questioning me that weren't really familiar. They were just kind of familiar with me falling off a building, and they thought I was some kind of deathmatch wrestler, hardcore wrestler, even though I've only done about 3 or 4 of those matches in 13 years. But people always are going to associate you with that stunt that went viral. But also with Evolve and Gabe and stuff, I came in there and fans were, you know, questioning me there, and I had a couple months before I got hurt. I'd been wrestling there a couple months, and I haven't used a chair or anything there yet, and killed it every show. And you know, I kind of just leave it all out there, and just you know, that's it.
And somehow you know what people want and what they're gonna and see, that's a gift I always had, Joey, is being able to predict what people are going to react to, when they're going to react to it. Really neat, different ideas on how to go in and out of things. And all of those are huge because it makes it different, you know?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not the best athlete, so sometimes, you know, I smoke nearly a pack a day of cigarettes, and that's the truth.
Isn't that down?
Somehow I have the cardio to go in there with anybody, any wrestler right now in the world, and have a great match. And you know, that says something. I don't have the best cardio.
Yeah, but none of us are going to be the best at, like, you know what I mean? There's very few that are going to be the top of the game at any one thing. So it's got to be a combination of things. And honestly, the main thing after the talent and the good attitude is just putting in the hard work, which you're doing. And oh shit, I wanted to bring up
the LA Confidential show coming up.
Well, not that. We can talk about that in a little bit, but All In and your match and your match with
the Hangman.
With the Hangman, Adam Page.
Yeah, right after I wanted to get my spring break show out of the way this year, and after Mania weekend was over, I had like 9 shows that weekend. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I hit up Matt Jackson on Twitter, and you know, the All In show just got announced, and I said, "Hey, where can I send my VHS and my 8x10 picture to get on this show?" And he just responded, "Oh, you're booked."
Nice.
Let me talk to the boy. That was it.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay," and which was pretty awesome because you know, those guys are at the forefront of, you know, something huge, and for me to be a part of that was just fucking crazy. But,
well, it makes sense though, because you're also one of the guys that's helped pushing the independent wrestling to the forefront of people's minds, you know. So it makes perfectly good sense to me.
Yeah, I just try to be humble, because when I was younger, I just was a little prick. So now I'm definitely getting to where I'm at right now with the minimal training I started with is very humbling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still could be a little prick, but not as bad as I used to be. But just All In was just great, and a bunch of ideas got shuffled around, and it ended up with me and Adam Page, and I couldn't have thanked them for a better opponent that day.
And you, why did they make it a street fight? I'm just curious, just so you could, because I don't.
Because I guess I'm known for the craziness.
Yeah.
Also, they also got this Cracker Barrel, and they wanted to see what they can do with it. So it was supposed to be the Cracker Barrel street fight. That's what they pitched to me. It was supposed to be like a Cracker Barrel sponsored street fight. So I think they just were looking for a way to get the Cracker Barrel in to the show and just turn the whole match into a street fight. And I guess it worked out because, you know, we definitely gave the fans a spectacle.
Oh, for sure. And tell me how talk about your experience, man. Like, was that the biggest crowd you ever worked in front of?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 12,000 people. I worked in front of 6,000 in Mexico, but this by far, this is the biggest crowd. This is a this is a large-scale event. It was, man, it was massive. It was just crazy being out there for that.
And when you come out and you make your entrance and everyone in the building knows who you are, it's a wonderful feeling, man. Like, it's not like, okay, I'm just debuting here and like, okay, I'm on this big show, but I'm just they don't really know who I am, and I got to go out here and like, I mean, they were anticipating seeing you. You were one of the people they were looking forward to seeing, and that's got to feel really good, man.
Yeah, especially against one of their guys.
Yeah.
Adam Page is one of their guys.
Yeah.
And of course he's going to, going into the match, he's going to be the favorite amongst the fans.
Yeah.
A lot of those fans don't even watch wrestling. Some of those fans, they just watch the Being the Elite YouTube show. That's how big it is. It's just, but it was definitely crazy going out there and, getting the response I did. And I'm grateful for it.
And your lovely lady Penelope Ford. She really shined big time out there with you in that. And I love the package you two together, man. It's really cool. And Joey, also, man, I really like the look and everything that you've cultivated for yourself and the whole persona, man. Talk about that a little bit.
It was just kind of just getting, into the swing of things. My booking started picking up in like 2012. Not as much as they did in the last couple of years, but on a larger scale than what I was used to. And, I was always coming up with these gimmicks. Like I was the zebra kid, but that didn't make any sense.
Right.
And I was looking for a hook. I was looking for something, and somewhere amongst there I started, coming out with the leather jacket and coming out with sunglasses and, just thinking of different ways, to make myself stand out. And as corny and hokey as the name sounds, the bad boy, make that work. And that was actually just a joke on social media on Facebook. I said I was on the beach. And all the girls were looking at me, whistling, going, "Who's this bad boy?" And then Rhett Titus from Ring of Honor thought it was the funniest thing ever. And started showing it to all the boys in the Ring of Honor locker room, like, "Oh, this is hilarious." And they all thought it was funny. They were messaging me about it, calling me the bad boy. And then I was hanging out with him, traveling with him. And, we'd go into a convenience store. He would go, "You know who this is? This is the bad boy."
Yeah.
So that's how it came up. It was basically all Rhett Titus's idea. So
was there like from the get-go, was there like the thought of it being a retro type of a feel to it? Because that's what I see when I see you.
Oh yeah, for sure. When you have a name like the Bad Boy, it's kind of, it's kind of, if you didn't know who I was, and you said this guy's the Bad Boy, you would say, "Oh, that's hokey." Yeah,
and it's only natural the bad boy would smoke cigarettes. Honestly, I'm just saying, man. Like it works for you.
I quit for a year and it wasn't the same.
It wasn't.
It wasn't the same.
Well, I want to know, when you worked at PWG, William Regal was there both times. What was his advice that he gave to you, and what did he talk to you about after your matches in your debut, and then most recently at this last Bolo?
Both times it was pretty similar. It was stop doing the crazy shit, stop falling on your head. He goes, "Would I change anything you did out there? No, because the fans love you, but stop doing this. You have different routes to get over. Why do you continue to do this craziness?" Which I didn't think my match this year with David Starr was as crazy as my match with Sammy Guevara, but there was moments in there that were pretty wild. That's his advice to me every time. It's.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that advice?
I 100% agree with him with the knowledge of concussions and how they can fuck up somebody's life. It's just, I gotten this far 13 years without serious injury.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm at a point that I know how to protect myself pretty well. If I can walk around, if I showed you a 10-minute compilation of all the stunts I did, you would think I was 6 feet under in a grave.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah. I'm sorry,
it's
finish your
just,
thought.
I think I know how to protect myself. It's kind of like a stuntman mentality, you know.
Sure.
Those guys do some crazy stunts and they know how to protect themselves, and I know how to protect myself pretty well.
I mean, we do the best we can, and I say this sometimes when talking about the risks I've taken in my career coming up, and I say that every risk I took was necessary to get where I wanted to be. It might have been dangerous, and some of them, like at face value, before you do it, might not seem like the risk is worth it, but like in the end, I needed to do those things to get noticed, and so I totally understand, and I totally get where you're coming from on that, and it doesn't mean he's wrong, because he's actually
not.
completely 100% right. But sometimes we have to go against conventional wisdom to get where we want to go and get the things that we want in life.
Yeah, it's just I got hurt on I got hurt on a dive to the outside, a crossbody I've done over 100 times.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that next, because I mean, when you tweeted that, I looked at that clip, man, it was brutal. But then I saw the prognosis that you teased everyone with, like, oh, there was like a CD or something you tweeted out. Oh,
This is what the doctor sent me home with.
Made everyone wait for it, and then like, oh my God. Well, tell us about the actual like injury and
Yeah, it was just a freak accident. I went for a crossbody on the outside to psychosis. The original psychosis, Nicho. And, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't my fault. The way I usually, if I come down like that, I usually land on my feet, but that floor was very slippery.
Yeah.
So I didn't stick my landing as good as I should have. And, my leg just bent in a way a human leg shouldn't bend in, and I tore my PCL, I tore my MCL, and the PCL injury the doctor said, is one of the worst ones he's ever seen because it's peeled off both bones. It's not just peeled off one bone. So that's what's making it so severe. And I have a bone break, and I have a few other tears and an ACL sprain, and my meniscus now might be torn too as well. So
they
that
gotta
might
do
be another thing on there.
And you have surgery coming up next week, right?
Yeah, I was supposed to have surgery tomorrow. They rescheduled it for next Tuesday.
So I mean, what is that going to be? A total knee replacement? How's that working? What is that?
Not a knee replacement. They just got to reconstruct the knee. I don't know if they're going to put cadaver tendons in there, and I'm just going to let them do what they got to do.
Yeah.
I'm thankful right now because I have some kind of bogus medical insurance in New Jersey that
it's not
it's
bogus.
covered.
It's 100% legit, Joey. Just in case anyone's listening.
After that dive, did you know, like on the spot, like, oh my God, I definitely hurt my knee? What was the reaction? What did you notice when it all happened?
Oh, when it happened, I knew it was done.
Was there like a pop or anything, or how did that work?
There was no pop because it wasn't the ACL. When you tear your ACL, there's a pop. The other tendons, there's no pop. But I knew my leg. I thought I dislocated my knee because my leg went completely numb, and it was just kind of like loose and hanging there. But then it went back in, and maybe it dislocated it a little bit because it felt like a dislocation. And I knew as soon as I knew I was done. I knew my knee was blown out. I knew I would be injured for a while because as soon as right after the match was over, I still managed to get through the match, the last spot that we had planned. We had to take it home, and still managed to get through with a flying. It looked like a flying karate kick. It was supposed to be a super kick, but I knew. I got on the mic afterwards, told the fans the situation. I told them that I blew out my knee and I would be gone for a while. So I automatically knew. Everyone else was trying to be optimistic, saying, no, it's probably not that bad, but I knew at that time that it was the worst injury I ever suffered.
It's one of the worst I've ever seen when it comes to actually seeing somebody blow their knee out. Like, I mean, I got almost ill looking at that, Joey. And when you were just talking about it now, I just caught myself squirming under the table. Like, I mean, that's how, because I mean, I've had knee, like I have I don't have an ACL right now because of some shit that happened. And I never had a chance to get fixed. But so yeah, man. Oh, and then so Joey, how many bookings did you have to cancel?
Man, it's a rough one.
How far ahead in advance were you booked out?
Till Mania weekend, but I don't.
Shit.
That's certain bookings.
Yeah.
I don't book too far in advance because I always fill up my calendar no matter what. I always book a couple months in advance. But I missed out on Australia tour in November. I missed out on Germany tour and Europe and England in March. I missed out on a few other big opportunities that were coming up in the next couple of weeks that no one really knew about. I missed out on a lot of stuff, but it is what it is.
And so, whenever I've had serious injuries in my career, Joey, I used that time away to do a lot of thinking and thinking about what I can do to up my game. And so I always became back, I think, a better performer, even if I became a little bit more limited for whatever, for neck issues or whatever. Like, I was better when I came back. Once I got through the gun shy of, making sure everything was okay in there. Like, I was never really gun shy, but so I can only imagine, Joey, like after this happens and you're sitting there like with just in your own head, like, what do I do now? Like, I'm a pro wrestler. What do I do to pay the bills? A lot of these things, man, they go through our minds when we get hurt. So can you talk about that at all?
Yeah, it's just I never really dealt I never dealt with anything like this. When I was hurt with the thumb thing, that was 3 months, but I had another job at that time. I was working at delivering pizzas. So I always had that. That was where my money came from. I wasn't making money wrestling yet. So, there's different outlets with social media, T-shirts, if anything I put up on Twitter, I will sell.
Yeah.
And because I have that connection with the fans. Many fans asked me about they wanted to start a GoFund for me, and I told them not to bother because my my surgery is covered.
Yeah.
I don't know how rehab is yet. I don't know if rehab's going to be covered, but it's really, everything's covered. I'm not a charity. I don't donate your money somewhere else. Please donate your money to someone that needs it, because I'll find ways to make money no matter what.
I was just going to say I have an idea. Like, instead of donating that money to a GoFundMe page, they can go to your Pro Wrestling Tees store, buy a T-shirt, buy some of your merchandise, anything like that to, help, make ends meet.
Yeah, they definitely have been. I've been uploading a lot more stuff on there recently because I'm hurt. But also I'm going to start my own separate store with different stuff and, my designs, and then other ideas I have for wrestling T-shirt parodies and whatnot. And, I feel like if I open up my own store next to the Pro Wrestling Tees with different designs, I can also make income that way. It hasn't been bad so far. I've made some money since I've been gone.
That's good. I can't imagine why somebody can't put your creativity to use while you're out, hurt. You're a brilliant guy, Joey, and like somebody could really use your brains to help them with things. And I would put that out there right now to anyone that's listening, that maybe they, might want to consider that.
Hire you for consultation.
Something, anything, and just or just to run ideas by you, or or ask you to, give them ideas. I mean, I just, all I'm saying is in 2018, and like there's more than one way to make money in wrestling, and and people love you, so I can imagine them wanting to support you in whatever you do. So.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Promoters are just cheap. Things never change,
man.
But I kind of I would like doing that. I don't want to make any appearances or anything. I don't I know Gabe maybe wanted me to come out in a wheelchair or something and do a Brian Pillman deal, but I want to disappear. If I'm hurt, I want to disappear and make my return as big as it could be.
Yeah.
I want to come back in great shape. I want to come back with a different mentality, different look. I want to disappear. I'm not going to disappear from social media because I'm obviously addicted to it, but I want to come back. I want to disappear for a little bit and come back a different person and make my star in this business a lot bigger than it is right now.
Almost seeing it as a reinvention.
Oh, absolutely. It's the same thing. A lot of these guys, they get hurt on the indies and then they're just scrambling for money. I have different ideas how I can make money, but it's when a guy goes away on TV and the WWE, they get hurt and then they come back and they become a massive star, depending on how they're booked. But it's just it's usually how it works out, and my return is going to be very, very big, and it's going to make me a lot of money.
Well, you say you want to disappear. Are you going to be at the LA Confidential show that Game Changer Wrestling is doing on November 16th?
Well, I'm basically booking it, so I have to be at that one. So I'll be there. I'll take the trip out to LA. Probably stay out there for a few days and enjoy myself.
So prior to your knee injury, did you already have an opponent in mind for that show?
Yeah, I was supposed to wrestle. I'll spoil it right here. I was supposed to wrestle Jeff Jarrett.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Double J versus Double J. It was all set up.
Hey, can we talk about you reaching out to me and want me to do 1, 2, 3 Kid?
I want you to do it. I that was another idea I had.
Yeah, and I'm really flattered by that, Joey, and I'm honored by it. It's just like I explained to you why I don't do it anymore, and even just the fact that I just didn't feel confident in singles competition right now.
I feel like if I can carry a mangled Marty Jannetty, you're in great shape, Shawn. We could definitely have a good match. That's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, I get that, Joey. I have to be I have to feel good about myself. I can't feel like I'm being carried through a good match, man.
I'm gone for a year. All
right. We'll
you got a year. You got a year.
It won't be 1, 2, 3 Kid, but we can revisit the idea.
So we got
That's
Bob
for sure.
Holly versus Brody King announced for this show. Any other I know Amazing Red's going to be there. Nick Gage is going to be there. Any other matches you want to give us a little exclusive?
Great Sasuke is going to be on the show. We're bringing him back because he's just an awesome dude. I think we're still working on things. Our shows aren't just booked on paper. We're booking it right now as the time goes by. That's how all of our shows have been. We have a little group chat. It was me, Brett Lauderdale, Danny DeMonto, and John Carlo Didymo, the guy who does my videos, a producer. He's a genius, but he's no longer with us. He's not dead. He's just somewhere else that he can't really partake in independent activities anymore. So,
Oh, shit.
So we're kind of at a loss right now with him because he kind of added that much more buzz to our shows. So, but he's going to be making money now. So good for him.
Now, I know this is jumping too far ahead, but I know obviously planning for a show that's taking place during WrestleMania weekend. Are you already planning, kind of thinking of ideas for the spring break show? Maybe any differences from your past shows to this one?
Yeah, the past 2 shows were at midnight. This year, since we're in New Jersey, which is my home state, and GCW's home state, we were going at 8 p.m. bell time, which is definitely will help us. But now there's other shows that are popping up at that 8 p.m. time slot that, I don't know, they kind of have the similar feel to a Joey Janela Spring Break. So we'll see what it is. I think everyone's going to do well. I think there's 70,000 wrestling fans in the area, so there's no reason that everyone shouldn't do good if they do good promoting.
Yeah, that's the thing that I noticed last year is that there were so many different types of show. Like I mentioned earlier, the Sugar Mill had like dozens of show that weekend or however many, and every show was packed to the fullest, you know? So I feel that that's the good
Not
thing about
every show.
WrestleMania.
CZW drew like 15 people. But
Never mind. Most of them.
Is that true?
yeah, they drew like 100 people. Like it wasn't. But that's when you don't use your creative juices on the biggest weekend of the year. So that's what happens.
But it gives fans options, at least different types of things that they're interested in or different types of wrestling that they want to see. And I think that's the cool thing, is to offer all of these different types of things that you may not be able to see regularly wherever you're coming from or wherever you live normally.
Yeah. Last year wasn't bad as far as, because every show, there was like a show competing with the show. This year there's 5 shows competing with each other. Because New Jersey and New York City, it's such a clusterfuck of independent wrestling. It's just, this year is going to be a complete, the bubble might burst this year. It might be a complete clusterfuck
You
when
think?
it comes to WrestleMania weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's so many bad indie wrestling companies just planning shows this year, and people are really trying to push the envelope this year with this WrestleMania weekend thing. So, I don't know, this year's going to be interesting.
Is it more complicated in terms of venue placing? Like, is it harder to get? Because I know different cities, whenever WrestleMania is at, some cities it's easier to go from show to show to show, but I've never been to WrestleMania weekend in New York. So does it work along the same route, or is it more difficult to get from event to event?
This year it's going to be hard because New York City, its subway system's not that hard. It'd be hard to navigate yourself around. That won't be too bad. But everything... I think we're going to have spring break in Jersey City this year because it's about a 30-minute train ride right outside of Manhattan, very easy to get to.
Yep.
So we're going to try to do that, but everything has to be next to mass transportation, train station or bus station. More train station because, but everything has to be well thought out this year because if you're going to go see Gabe's WWN Super Show, whatever it is, in Queens at 4 o'clock, spring break is right after, you're going to have to think of a way to get to New Jersey as fast as possible. So it's going to be it's going to be a clusterfuck. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, well, I mean,
not the
it's
good Joey Janela kind.
right. But everyone, excuse me, everyone wants a piece of that WrestleMania weekend action now. Like you know, to me, like it's gonna get to the point. And I think it might be kind of what you were talking about, the bubble bursting. But like, if you haven't already staked out your claim, like traditionally at WrestleMania weekend, like you've done now, like I think like it's gonna get to the point where you might as well not even try.
Yeah, people, but you know, it's professional wrestling. People don't learn. So.
Sure.
They lose money on a regular September show. Why not lose a lot of money in April? So.
No. Hey, so
same shit, different day.
Well, before we let you go, I have 2 questions. One, I want to know your thoughts on Penelope Ford facing Jazz at the NWA 70th show coming up.
Yeah, that's big for her. You know, that's really big. You know, Lagana hit me up and he wanted to make the match happen. I was also booked on that show as well.
Oh, who are you supposed to face?
I don't know. I don't know.
maybe in the national title tournament.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be that tournament deal.
Yeah.
I didn't know who I was going to wrestle, but yeah, we were just working everything out, all the kinks, and he wanted a good-looking girl to wrestle Jazz, and she's athletic, and Jazz will probably look like she a murder scene, but I hope she squeaks one out and wins that belt, because that would be big for everyone.
And then the other question I want to know, how cool is it for you to finally have an action figure with Figures Toy Company?
Yeah, that's pretty sick. And they put in a lot of work into this figure. Some of those figures, I don't know, they're a little funny sometimes. Sorry, guys. I said it, but my figure looks amazing. It looks just like me. So those guys are the best.
And do you know when it's available and where people can get them to support you while
they're going to be able to get them on the internet, but I don't know when. I know they're trying to push it out now because of the response they got because I posted the blueprint photos and whatnot. So they got a crazy response, so they're trying to push it out as soon as possible now. So, yeah, hopefully around Christmas time, I'll be like the Turbo Man this year for the children.
That'll be awesome.
So, hey, Joey, before we wrap it up, I just wanted to let you tell everyone where they can go and support you right now, as far as pro wrestling tees and anything else like that.
Pro Wrestling Tees, the bad boy Joey Janela. I think that's the handle. I'm not good at this stuff, but if you look at the Pro Wrestling Tees top sellers, I'm right there next to Andre the Giant,
nice,
right above Chris Jericho. See?
Yeah, well, you have a nice selection of
shirts.
shirts.
That's me being a little dick bag.
That's all right. It's all right to be like that. You're the bad boy, and you have a nice selection of shirts, fresh new shirts coming out, and so I need to do that too. Anyways, so yeah, Joey, look, man, I'm grateful that you took the time to come on today, man. I'm really so sorry about the knee injury, man. That kind of shit, we go through that. Well, some of us get to make it through without having to go through shit that bad, but man, I hope you keep a positive attitude, and man, you'll get through this, and you'll come back better. I can tell you already got kind of a game plan in your head. Talking about getting shape and maybe even switching brands of cigarettes.
Yeah, maybe menthol now. Who knows?
No, but man, I look forward to. Hopefully, I get to see you when you're out here, Survivor Series weekend, and but really, I'm looking forward to seeing what the new version of Joey Janela looks like when you come back from this, man.
Yeah, I'm already thinking of a game plan. It's full speed ahead. I just need to get the surgery done with now. So right now I can walk around pretty good. If you see me walking around the streets, you see me walk around with a slight limp, and you wouldn't even think I was that injured. But it's gonna be a long time that I can relearn how to walk. They said after this injury, it's gonna take a couple months.
Are you in a lot of? How's the pain level right now for you?
Not bad.
Okay.
There's really no pain. When I sleep at night, I sleep without a brace, so I move around. So
yeah,
when you wake up, it's a little sore. And sometimes when you lift your leg in a certain position, it feels like it's falling off. But besides that, it's pretty good, actually. I can actually probably jog down the street right now.
Holy shit, don't do that. Anyways.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Hey, Joey, thank you so much for coming on, man. And I look forward to seeing you when you get out here to L.A. in a little bit.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, man. Good night, Joey Janela, everyone. The bad boy.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Anyways, might as well wrap this up and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, follow Shawn on Twitter at @TheRealXPac. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, guys. Go on YouTube, subscribe to X-Pac12360 on YouTube. If you want to buy anything from any of our sponsors, Blue Chew, Mac Weldon, or Slam Crate, Shawn will send you a signed 8x10. Just send us your proof of purchase with a screenshot or a picture. Also, we're going to do a pin giveaway. Do you want to talk about this, Denise? Yeah, so really cool. If you guys want to take a picture of either you guys watching the podcast or a screenshot of you listening to the podcast, whatever it is, either on Instagram or on Twitter, reach out to us at XPac12360. You guys know the handles. Use the hashtag XPac12360. The first 25 people, want to do 25? The first 25 people who do so will be receiving an XPac12360 pin. So make sure to get that. Tag us, use the hashtag, do whatever you get to do to get notice so that you can get your pin. Definitely. Cool. And Shawn has an upcoming show in Sauga, Illinois, Friday, October 19th for Glory Pro. Tickets at TicketWeb. You'll be there with Scott Norton and Buff Bagwell. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. One more thing, and I should have talked about this before. I'll be at Alamo City Comic-Con coming up at the end of the month. That's in the end of October. I think it's 26, 27, 28, but don't quote me on that. And then the following week, I'll be in Providence at the Rhode Island Comic-Con, appearing with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Awesome. We'll be sure to tweet those out on Shawn's social media. Yeah. So anyways, I'm not sure who the guest is next week, but I'll see you right here next week on X-Pac12360, AfterBuzz TV, Westwood One, and the Jericho Network.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Sean Waltman, producers Mark B. Donica, Jimbo Frank, and the entire X-Pac 12360 staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in. Like us on Facebook, rate and comment on iTunes and YouTube. Follow X-Pac on Twitter @TheRealXpac and email us at xpac12360show@gmail.com.